Have you ever felt like some women have an almost magnetic effect on men? They don't just attract them, they connect with them on a deep emotional level. It's not just about beauty or charm, it's something deeper, something that makes a man think about them constantly and feel emotionally attached in a way he can't explain. What if I told you that you could create that same effect? That you could tap into a man's emotions in a way that makes him feel something entirely new, a connection so intense he's drawn to you like a moth to a flame, not because he chooses to, but because it feels natural, irresistible. Most women make one critical mistake when it comes to relationships. They focus too much on physical attraction, on appearances, and saying the right things. But the truth is, physical attraction fades. Emotional connection lasts, and that's what makes a man stay. That's what makes him choose you again and again. Here's the problem. Most women don't know how to build that emotional bond. Some come on too strong and overwhelm him. Others hold back too much, causing him to lose interest. So what's the secret? Today, I'm revealing 5 powerful ways to make a man emotionally connected to you. These aren't just tips. They're psychological triggers that reach into his deepest emotions and desires, making you unforgettable in his life. And the best part? You don't need to change who you are. You just need to understand how to work with a man's emotions and instincts. This is where many women struggle, but you won't, because once you understand these 5 methods, you'll never have to question whether he's truly invested in you. Are you ready to unlock the secrets to his heart? Let's dive in. Number 1, create an irresistible emotional bond ever. Wonder why some women captivate a man so deeply that he can't explain it? It's not about magic, and it's certainly not just about looks. It's about how she makes him feel. Men may not always show it, but they crave emotional connection just as much as women, sometimes even more. Society teaches them to hide emotions, to appear strong and independent. But deep down, every man wants to feel understood, seen, and safe. When you become the person who truly sees him, who gives him space to be himself without judgment, you become emotionally irreplaceable. He might not understand why, but he won't be able to stop thinking about you, wanting to be near you, and feeling drawn to you on a level he can't resist. Most women believe that attracting a man is about appearance, charm, or clever conversations. But those things only catch his attention. Emotional connection is what makes him stay, the kind of bond that makes him think of you late at night, that makes him choose you time and time again, regardless of circumstance. And here's something. Many women don't realize men don't fall in love through logic. They fall through emotion. A man can meet someone who seems perfect, smart, kind, attractive. But if she doesn't make him feel something meaningful, the connection won't last. On the other hand, when a man feels deeply connected to a woman, when she reaches him emotionally in a way no one else can, she becomes his home, his safe space. She becomes someone he can't imagine life without. So how do you create this kind of bond? It's not about saying more or texting him all the time. It's about creating meaningful moments, moments where he feels seen, moments where he feels safe to express himself, moments where he realizes you're not like the rest. The key, active listening, not just hearing his words, but really understanding the feelings behind them. When a man speaks, he rarely reveals his emotions outright. Instead, he drops subtle hints about his frustrations, his dreams, and his fears. Most women either miss these emotional cues or respond in ways that make him retreat. But when you listen with genuine curiosity, when you ask thoughtful questions, when you show him that his thoughts and feelings truly matter, that's when he begins to feel something rare, something unforgettable. And here's another powerful element of emotional bonding: validation. Men are constantly under pressure, expected to stay strong, stay composed, stay in control. But when you create a space where he doesn't have to wear that mask, where he can simply be, something shifts. When a woman allows him to be vulnerable without judgment, she becomes a place of emotional safety in a world full of expectations. It's not about grand gestures, it's in the little things. A quiet, "I see how much effort you put into that and I really respect it." A thoughtful, "I love the way your mind works. You're so passionate about what you do." When he feels like you notice and value the parts of him no one else sees, he starts to emotionally associate that feeling of comfort and safety with you. And once that connection is made, he will keep coming back to it because it feels rare, because it feels real. But here's where many women unintentionally push him away. They try to force emotional depth. They press for vulnerability too soon. They ask deeply personal questions before trust is truly built. They make emotional sharing feel like a test rather than a choice. Emotional bonding isn't something you demand. It's something you invite. It develops slowly, in layers, with a mix of patience, warmth, and quiet confidence. Your goal isn't to make him open up. Your goal is to make him feel safe enough to want to. This is why so many men feel emotionally distant in relationships, not because they lack feelings, but because they don't feel safe expressing them. When you become the one person he can be fully himself with, without fear of judgment, criticism, or rejection, you create a bond no one else can match. And here's something most people never consider. Mystery is part of emotional bonding too. When you reveal everything too soon, when you over-explain, overshare, or try to be everything all at once, he doesn't feel emotionally connected. He feels overwhelmed. Men don't just want emotional depth. They want emotional discovery. They want to feel like they're gradually earning your trust, peeling back your layers, becoming someone special enough to be let into your inner world. If you give that all away in the beginning, you take away the magic. But if you reveal just enough, at just the right moments, you create anticipation. And anticipation is powerful. It builds interest, it builds emotional tension, and it keeps you on his mind. This is why emotional bonding isn't about telling him everything from your past. It's not about reciting your story like a checklist. It's about the way you share, the timing of it, the emotion behind it. It's in the way you look at him when he opens up, the way you remember something he said weeks ago, the way he feels seen, heard, and appreciated just by being around you. That's what creates a lasting bond. So what happens when a man starts to feel this deep emotional connection? He begins to associate you with his happiest feelings, his safest moments, his most exciting thoughts. And when that happens, something powerful shifts. You're no longer just someone he wants in his life. You become someone he needs, not in a desperate way, but in a deeply emotional, instinctive way. He begins to crave your presence, to think about you even when you're not there, to feel like life without you just doesn't feel complete, to feel like something is missing when you're not there. That's how emotional addiction begins, not through manipulation or control, but through a connection so deep and authentic that he starts to feel your absence like a void. Most women never tap into this level of emotional bonding because they focus on the wrong things. They try to impress him. They try to play games. They try to prove they're good enough. But the real secret, it's not about making him chase you. It's about making him feel something so powerful that he never wants to let go. When a man experiences this level of emotional depth with you, he naturally starts prioritizing you. He chooses you. He protects what he has with you, because deep down he knows it's rare, and this is just the beginning, because understanding him is one thing, but keeping him on edge, intrigued, and hungry for more. That's where things get truly magnetic. Number 2, master the art of emotional mystery. Ever wonder why some women leave a permanent imprint on a man's heart, while others fade into the background? Why some women become unforgettable, irresistible, almost addictive, It's not just emotional bonding that does this, it's emotional mystery. Because while deep emotional connection makes a man feel safe, mystery keeps him obsessed. Mystery is the fuel behind the chase. It's the thrill of the unknown. Sate, excitement of discovering something new, little by little. Here's the truth. Men don't just fall for women who make them feel good. They fall for women who make them wonder. When a man feels like he has you all figured out, when he knows exactly what you'll say, how you'll react, or what story you'll tell next, his mind begins to quiet, the curiosity fades, the excitement disappears. But when you give him something to uncover, when you let him feel like he's earning access to your inner world, layer by layer, you become unforgettable. So how do you create emotional mystery? First, don't reveal everything at once. When you like someone, the temptation is to share your whole life story. You want him to know the real you. But real depth doesn't come from oversharing. It comes from strategic vulnerability, giving just enough to spark curiosity while leaving something unsaid. Share pieces of your life like a puzzle, not a resume. Make him work to understand you. Let him ask, let him earn it. Let him feel like he's discovering something rare. Next, lean into unpredictability. Men are wired for challenge and excitement. If every interaction is the same, he tunes out. But if he never quite knows what to expect from you, if sometimes you're deeply present and other times playfully elusive, he stays alert. He stays engaged. He starts craving the emotional highs only you provide. That's emotional contrast, and it's addictive. Sometimes you answer his texts right away. Other times, you let him wait. Sometimes you dive into a deep topic. Other times, you tease him playfully and leave him wanting more. This is not manipulation. It's emotional tension. It's mental stimulation. And it's what makes him crave you even when you're not around. And finally, remember this. Emotional mystery doesn't mean being cold. It means being intentional. You want to create a rhythm, a push and pull that keeps him emotionally invested. Because when a man doesn't just know you, but constantly wants to know more about you, that's when he's truly hooked. That's when you become the one he can't forget. And in the next section, we'll go even deeper into the power of feminine presence and how to create an emotional space so powerful he doesn't just desire it, he needs it. A powerful tool in emotional mystery is stoicism. Men are naturally drawn to women who embody calm confidence, who carry themselves with emotional control, grace under pressure, and self-assurance. It's not about being cold, it's about having a quiet strength that speaks louder than words. When a woman reacts to everything, when she's easily triggered, constantly emotional, or visibly shaken by small things, a man starts to feel like he's in control of the dynamic. He knows exactly how to influence her. And that predictability, it dulls the emotional tension. But when you hold your ground with stoic composure, when you don't flinch, don't overreact, and don't let your emotions dictate your actions, you become unshakable, mysterious, magnetic. Stoicism doesn't mean being emotionless. It means knowing when to show emotion and when to pull back. It means having a strong identity that doesn't change based on how a man treats you. And here's the secret. When a man can't quite figure you out, when he sees that you're not easily influenced, when he senses that there's more beneath the surface, he wants to be the one who unlocks you. He needs to be the one who reaches the part of you that no one else can. And that need, that's what creates emotional addiction. Another element of emotional mystery, your energy. Have you ever noticed how some women enter a room and instantly capture attention? It's not about their looks. It's not about designer clothes or loud voices. It's about the energy they carry, the way they move, the calm in their eyes, the softness in their voice, the presence that silently says, "I know who I am." Men don't just fall for a woman's words. They fall for her presence. When your presence is a blend of warmth and intrigue, of kindness and depth, of softness and strength, you become unforgettable. Your voice, your body language, your timing, your eye, your contact. These are all tools of emotional mystery. And here's where many women go wrong. They become too available, too predictable, too eager to please. But when you maintain an element of unpredictability, when you know how to be open but just out of reach, you create tension. And that tension is what he starts to crave. He starts to associate you with excitement, with emotional adrenaline, with a feeling he can't get anywhere else. And now, the final key to emotional mystery. Leave him wanting more. This is one of the most powerful secrets to making a man emotionally addicted to you. Because here's what most women do when they like a man. They give everything. They overstay conversations. They text endlessly. They reveal every thought and emotion. But emotional addiction isn't created through abundance. It's created through anticipation. If the conversation is going great, end it before it starts to fade. If a date is amazing, leave while the spark is still high. If he's texting you, don't always respond immediately. This isn't about playing games. It's about creating a rhythm that leaves him hungry for more. Because when he doesn't feel like he has enough of you, he keeps coming back. He keeps thinking about you. He starts to associate you with desire. Emotional mystery isn't about being distant. It's about keeping his mind engaged. It's about making him feel like he has to earn access to deeper layers of you. And once you master this, you become irreplaceable, because physical attraction might fade, but emotional intrigue, that lasts forever. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to like this video and comment 1 below to let us know you're locked in. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because what's coming next is going to change how you understand men forever. Number 3, trigger his hero instinct. There's something deep inside every man that influences how he feels about a woman. Something deeper than attraction, deeper than love, deeper than logic. It's called the hero instinct, a primal psychological trigger that forms the foundation of his emotional bond. When this instinct is activated, a man doesn't just like a woman. He feels an irresistible need to be with her. He feels like his life has more meaning with her in it, like she completes him. But here's where most women go wrong. They don't know how to activate it, or worse, they accidentally shut it down. They try to prove they're independent. They never ask for help. They avoid showing any vulnerability. And while being self-sufficient is powerful, there's a line. When a man feels unnecessary, he feels disconnected. Because even the most modern man is biologically wired to protect, provide, and serve a purpose in a woman's life. This isn't about inflating his ego. It's about giving him a role that matters. So how do you trigger the hero instinct? You let him contribute. You allow him to feel needed, respected, and useful, not in a needy, dependent way, but in a way that makes him feel valuable in your world. When a man feels like he makes your life better, when he feels like you see him as capable, when he feels appreciated for what he brings, that's when he bonds, that's when he attaches, that's when the emotional addiction begins. Because while love makes him care, purpose makes him stay. Instead, you need to create a dynamic where he chooses to step up for you, where he wants to protect and support you. Not because you can't handle life on your own, but because he feels a deep intrinsic drive to do so. One of the simplest and most powerful ways to trigger a man's hero instinct is by making him feel competent in your presence. Men love to feel capable, like they have something valuable to offer. So when you seek his opinion, ask for his advice, or genuinely appreciate his problem-solving abilities, you activate this instinct on a subconscious level. The key here is authenticity. Don't fake admiration or pretend to need help when you don't. Instead, find real, sincere ways to engage his protective and guiding nature. It can be as simple as saying, "I love the way you think. What would you do in this situation?" Or, "I always feel safe when I'm with you." Moments like these make a man feel trusted, and trust is one of the most powerful emotional triggers for him. Another way to awaken this instinct is by allowing him to provide for you, not just financially, but emotionally and practically. Many women today take pride in being independent, and that's incredibly admirable. But when a woman completely shuts down the space for a man to give, she unknowingly creates an emotional wall. Men want to feel like they bring something meaningful to a woman's life. And if he feels like there's no room for him to contribute, he gradually starts to disconnect. This doesn't mean you should become dependent on him. It means creating moments where he can show up for you in a way that makes him feel needed. If he offers to help, let him. If he wants to take care of something for you, allow it. If he does something thoughtful, acknowledge it. When a man feels like he's adding to your happiness, he starts to associate his sense of purpose with you, and that's where emotional addiction begins. But remember, this instinct isn't just about what he does for you, it's about how he feels when he's with you. A man doesn't just want to be a hero. He wants to feel like your hero, and that feeling is built through the way you look at him, the way you respond to his efforts, and the way you appreciate who he is. This is where many women accidentally push men away. They assume that because a man loves them, he doesn't need acknowledgement. But the truth is, men crave recognition. A simple, "I love how you always know how to handle things," or "I really admire your discipline and drive," can make a man feel seen in a way that speaks to the deepest part of him. When he feels like a better man because of you, he doesn't just want you, he feels like he needs you. There's one more powerful but often overlooked part of the hero instinct: emotional resilience. Men are naturally drawn to women who radiate inner strength, but at the same time, they want to feel like they can support that strength. If you're too emotionally closed off, too guarded or afraid to show vulnerability, a man won't feel like he plays a meaningful role in your life. But on the flip side, if you're emotionally unstable, constantly overwhelmed, or always needing to be rescued, he'll feel burdened rather than bonded. The key is balance. When you allow a man to see your strength and your softness, your self-sufficiency and your desire for connection, you create a relationship dynamic that is both secure and magnetic. Because when a man feels like he is your safe place and you are his, that's when emotional addiction takes hold. The key is balance, being strong yet receptive, independent yet open. When a man feels that you choose him, not because you need him, but because you genuinely value him, his emotional connection to you deepens on a profound level. There's also a powerful psychological element at play here, rooted in the philosophy of Stoic love and Stoicism. A Stoic approach to relationships means understanding that true connection isn't about relying on someone for happiness. It's about adding value to each other's lives in a meaningful way. When you embody this mindset, you naturally inspire love instead of demanding it. And that's when you activate a man's hero instinct, because you're not asking him to complete your world. You're inviting him into it. You create a dynamic where he wants to step up, where he chooses to invest in you, where he sees you as the kind of woman who elevates his life, not someone who needs him to define hers. And that is the ultimate emotional addiction trigger. But perhaps the most crucial part of the hero instinct is this: you must allow him to fight for you. Men don't truly value what they don't have to earn. If you give too much, too soon, if you make it too easy, he won't feel the emotional investment required to truly appreciate what he has. This doesn't mean you should play games or pretend to be hard to get. It means you set a standard. A woman with high expectations, who doesn't settle for bare minimum effort, challenges a man to be better. And when he feels challenged, he feels motivated. When he respects you, He values you. When he values you, he fears losing you. And when that fear settles in, emotional addiction begins to take root. The beauty of the hero instinct is that once it's triggered, a man doesn't just love a woman, he needs her in a way he can't explain. He feels protective of her. He wants to show up for her. He's proud to be by her side. She's no longer just a woman, she becomes his woman. And when a man feels that, he doesn't want to leave, he can't leave, because deep down he knows. No one else makes him feel this way. Number 4, create moments of deep emotional intimacy. If you've ever wondered why some relationships grow cold while others remain magnetic, why some women effortlessly hold a man's attention while others feel him drifting away, the answer lies in emotional intimacy. Many women focus on attraction, passion, or compatibility, but few truly understand the power of creating a deep emotional bond, the kind that makes a man feel like he's found his home in you. This isn't about physical closeness. It's not just about deep conversations. It's about moments that make him feel something so real, so rare, that he can't imagine his life without you. These are the moments where he feels safe enough to open up, excited enough to crave more, and connected enough to fear losing you. Unfortunately, most women don't know how to create these moments. They either push too hard, too fast, causing emotional overwhelm, or they hold back entirely, leaving a man feeling distant and emotionally disconnected. But once you learn how to naturally build emotional intimacy, you become unforgettable. You become the one thing he can't stop thinking about. And here's the secret. Men experience connection differently than women. Women are expressive. They bond through words, emotions, and vulnerability. Men, on the other hand, bond through shared experiences. A man can love a woman deeply, but if their shared moments don't feel emotionally significant, the connection won't stick. This is why so many relationships fade, not because the love is gone, not because he stopped caring, but because he stopped feeling. So if you want a man to be emotionally addicted to you, you need to create experiences that stir something profound in him, not just love, but meaning. Not just desire, but connection. Not just attraction, but attachment. When you give a man emotional experiences that make him feel seen, respected, inspired, and safe, you create a bond that goes far beyond physical attraction. You reach into the core of who he is, and once you've touched that part of him, he won't want to let you go. This isn't about extravagant dates or grand gestures. It's about the little moments that leave a lasting imprint on his mind. The way you laugh together, the way you look at him during a quiet moment, the way you hold space for him when he needs it most. These are the moments that make a man crave your presence, not just enjoy it. One of the most powerful ways to create these moments is through emotional exclusivity. This means making a man feel like he has access to a part of you that no one else does. Men don't just fall for beauty or charm. They fall for the feeling that they are uniquely special to you. This is why stoic love and stoicism are so powerful in relationships. When you embody emotional stability, when your depth isn't easily accessible, a man values your intimacy more. He knows that when you open up, it means something. It's rare, it's real, and when a man feels like he's the only one who truly sees you, he becomes emotionally obsessed. So don't be afraid to have layers. Don't be afraid to reveal yourself in stages, letting him uncover your depth over time. The more he earns that emotional connection, the more addicted he becomes. Another key to deep emotional intimacy is creating shared rituals. Human beings are wired to bond through repeated experiences. This is why traditions, inside jokes, and shared habits create emotional attachment. If you want a man to feel a deep connection with you, create small, meaningful rituals that exist only between the two of you. Maybe it's a phrase you always say before hanging up the phone. Maybe it's a song that reminds you of him. Maybe it's a special way you touch his arm when you walk together. These small, intimate gestures become anchors in his mind, reminders of the emotional depth you share. Over time, he begins to associate you with comfort, love, and emotional security. And once that happens, he can't walk away. Even if he tries, those moments are etched into his heart. But here's the part most women overlook. Intimacy isn't just about love, it's about contrast. A man becomes emotionally addicted not when everything is perfect, but when he experiences both highs and lows with you in a way that deepens the bond. If a relationship is too smooth, it starts to feel predictable. If it's too unstable, it becomes draining. The key is to balance emotional depth with emotional contrast. This means knowing when to be soft and when to challenge him, when to comfort him and when to push him, when to be his safe place and when to be the spark that keeps him on edge. Men don't crave constant reassurance. They crave a connection that feels real, a connection that makes them think, that makes them grow. This is why some of the most powerful relationships are built on moments of challenge, followed by moments of closeness. When a man knows he can fight with you, disagree with you, and still feel deeply connected afterward, he experiences a level of security that makes him never want to let go. And here's where many women go wrong. They expect a man to open up emotionally just because he loves them. But men don't work that way. They open up when they feel safe, when they feel inspired, when it feels like their choice. If you pressure a man into emotional intimacy, if you constantly ask how he feels, or turn deep conversations into obligations, he will start to retreat. Instead, create an environment where emotional connection happens naturally, and that begins by leading through example. When you share your emotions in a way that's authentic but not overwhelming, he feels invited to do the same. This means understanding, timing, knowing when to open up and when to simply be present. Hint, not when he's distracted, stressed, or tired. Emotional intimacy also comes through non-verbal cues. Sometimes a simple touch, a long gaze, or a quiet moment says more than words ever could. When a man feels emotionally connected to you without being pressured to constantly express himself, he begins to open up naturally. And when a man chooses to be emotionally vulnerable with you, that's when you know he's emotionally addicted. But emotional intimacy isn't all about heavy talks and deep reflection. One overlooked ingredient is playfulness, laughter, teasing, shared joy. These moments matter just as much, if not more. Many women mistakenly believe that emotional depth must always be serious. But the truth is, a man bonds deeply through lightheartedness too. The way you joke with him, the way you make him smile on his bad days, these moments become a part of his emotional world. If he begins to associate you with joy, with ease, with feeling alive, he'll never want to let that go. Because emotional depth isn't just about making a man feel safe. It's about making him feel fully alive when he's with you. And here's the most powerful secret of all. Leave him with a feeling, not just words. Most women focus on what they say during emotional moments, but men don't bond through words alone. They bond through feelings. A man may forget what you said, but he will never forget how you made him feel. If every time he's with you he feels understood, excited, desired, safe, and challenged, he won't be able to let go. He'll replay your moments together in his mind. He'll crave your presence. And when you're gone, something will feel missing. That's the real key to emotional addiction. Not just making a man love you, but making him feel something so rare, so unforgettable, that he can't imagine life without it. If this part resonated with you, make sure to like this video and comment 1 down below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because the next part is even more powerful, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Number 5. Keep him on an emotional high. Here's one undeniable truth about human nature. People become addicted to feelings, not just people. Think about it. What makes us crave certain experiences, places, or even individuals? It's not just their logic or appearance, it's the emotion they evoke. Emotional addiction in relationships works the same way. A man doesn't become emotionally hooked on a woman because she's beautiful, kind, or intelligent. He becomes hooked because she makes him feel something so intense, so alive, so unpredictably exhilarating that his mind starts to crave her like a drug. If you want a man to be emotionally addicted to you, you must become the source of his most powerful emotions. You must keep him on an emotional high, an experience that makes life without you feel dull in comparison. Here's the problem. Most women believe emotional connection is about stability, about being his calm, his comfort, his constant. But here's the truth. Comfort alone doesn't create addiction. To be continued, emotional contrast is what truly keeps a man hooked. A man doesn't become addicted to just feeling good. He becomes addicted to the emotional highs and lows he experiences with you. If the relationship becomes too predictable, too easy to read, the emotional thrill fades. But when a woman knows how to create an emotional roller coaster, she becomes unforgettable. The first key to keeping a man on an emotional high is understanding. The power of anticipation. Think about some of the most exciting moments in life. The night before a big trip, waiting for a text from someone you like, the thrill of not knowing what's next. That feeling? It's anticipation, and it's emotionally intense. When a man starts to associate you with that feeling, he begins to crave your presence even when you're not around. This is why a little unpredictability matters so much. If you're always too available, if he always knows when you'll text, how you'll respond, or what you'll say, the mystery disappears. But if he's never quite sure when he'll hear from you, if you surprise him with spontaneous gestures or keep just a bit of mystery, his brain stays engaged. He starts wondering about you when you're not there, imagining what you're doing, and replaying your moments together in his mind. And that's when emotional addiction starts to form. When you're not just someone he enjoys, you become someone he can't stop thinking about. Another powerful tool is emotional contrast. People become addicted to things that create ups and downs because the highs feel even higher after the lows. This is the psychology behind addictive games, social media, and even certain relationships. They create cycles of reward followed by moments of withdrawal. The human brain is wired to chase the next high. In relationships, this means a man feels a deep emotional pull when he experiences both closeness and distance, passion and longing, certainty and mystery. Now, this isn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about naturally allowing space for contrast. If you always say yes, always respond instantly, always prioritize him, there's no challenge. But if sometimes you're deeply connected and other times just slightly out of reach, if sometimes you're playful and teasing and other times warm and affectionate, if you offer moments of exciting spontaneity mixed with quiet intimacy, his brain never fully adjusts. And when his brain never fully adjusts, he stays emotionally engaged. One of the most overlooked ways to keep a man on an emotional high is by creating unforgettable shared experiences. Many relationships fall into routine. Same conversations, same dates, same dynamics. When things become too familiar, they lose their excitement. But when a woman creates experiences that feel novel, exciting and memorable, she taps into a part of a man's brain that bonds deeply. Science shows that novelty releases dopamine, the same chemical involved in emotional bonding and even addiction. So if you want a man to feel emotionally addicted to you, be a part of the moments that stand out in his memory. This doesn't mean extravagant trips or expensive gestures. It means creating unique emotional moments, a spontaneous road trip, a deep talk under the stars, a playful dance in the living room, a surprise challenge that sparks laughter and adrenaline. These moments become emotional spikes, and they keep a man hooked, because while most relationships fade into background noise, you become the unforgettable highlight in his life. Another essential part of keeping a man on an emotional high is tapping into his deepest emotions. Many women focus on making a man feel good, but if you want to create emotional addiction, you need to make him feel everything. This means making him feel challenged, understood, desired, curious, appreciated, and inspired. A man becomes deeply bonded to a woman when she awakens different parts of him: his playful side, his ambitious side, his protective side, and his emotional side. If a man feels more when he's around you than with anyone else, he won't just love you, he'll need you. This is why stoic love is so powerful. When a woman embodies emotional stability while also inspiring deep feelings in a man, she becomes irreplaceable. She isn't reactive or overly dependent, but she knows how to pull the right emotions out of him at the right time. That balance is what makes a man obsessed. One of the biggest mistakes women make in relationships is trying to create emotional security by removing all contrast. They think if they always agree, always make things easy, and always avoid conflict, a man will feel safe and stay forever. But the reality is that men don't fall in love with comfort alone. They fall in love with intensity. Think about the relationships that leave the biggest mark on people. They aren't the ones that were just nice. They're the ones that had depth, emotion, passion, and complexity. This doesn't mean creating drama, but it does mean knowing how to keep a man emotionally engaged. It means knowing when to pull back, when to push forward, when to challenge him in a way that makes him want to step up, and when to be soft in a way that makes him want to protect you. A man stays addicted when he never feels like he's reached the final layer of you, when he always feels like there's more to discover, more to feel, more to experience with you. The ultimate key to keeping a man on an emotional high is becoming his emotional home. When a man feels like you are the place where he experiences the most intense highs, the deepest comfort, and the greatest inspiration, he will never want to lose you. You become the one person he can't replace, the one woman who makes his life feel richer, fuller, and more alive. When that happens, he won't just love you, he'll be emotionally addicted to you. He won't just want you, he'll feel like life without you is incomplete. The secret to making a man emotionally addicted to you isn't about playing games, changing who you are, or constantly worrying about keeping his attention. It's about understanding how emotions work, how men experience connection, and how to create a relationship that keeps him engaged, excited, and emotionally invested. When you master these 5 principles, creating an irresistible emotional bond, maintaining emotional mystery, triggering his hero instinct, building deep emotional intimacy, and keeping him on an emotional high, you don't just make him fall for you. You make him stay in a way that feels effortless, because when a man feels like you are the one person who understands him, challenges him, excites him, and makes him feel more alive than anyone else, he won't want to let go. In fact, he won't be able to. Most women struggle in relationships because they focus on logic instead of emotion. They think if they look good enough, say the right things, or are simply a good partner, a man will naturally stay. But emotions don't work that way. A man stays where he feels the most. And if you become the woman who makes him feel safe, challenged, desired, inspired, excited, respected, intrigued, he won't just be in love with you. He'll be emotionally addicted. And the best part? You don't have to chase him. You don't have to convince him. He will feel it on his own, because real emotional addiction isn't about manipulation. It's about authenticity. It's about knowing how to naturally tap into the deepest parts of a man's mind and heart, making him choose you over and over again. Now, if you've made it this far, that tells me something. You get it. You understand that relationships aren't just about attraction or love. They're about emotional connection. And if you start applying these principles in your own life, you will see a shift. Men will start responding to you differently. You'll notice them becoming more invested, more engaged, more hooked on your energy. But here's the thing, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to understand, so many deeper layers to explore, and I'm here to help you navigate it all. So if you found this valuable, if this resonated with you, make sure to like this video and comment number 1 down below. I want to hear your thoughts. What part of this stood out to you the most? And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I have so much more to share. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Your love life is about to change forever, and I can't wait to guide you through it.